Today, we're just going to look at a few other books that I've acquired in the past year of sequestration. That's a difficult word. Connecting my brain back to my voice was one of the strangest things I had to do. Pondering after 8 years the program of 12-step and integrating it in with my family. Basically, anybody can have a family of any size, no matter what. Your mother's always your mother, even if you grow up in a foster care home or you're adopted out. And it's one of the greatest griefs that we hold. So some people recognize this lady. She had some reality television, and she's written several books. She's Canadian. I think she lives in Toronto. Some people, they have different kinds of families. Here's a man, boy, and dog. That would definitely constitute a family size. People are looking for health and well-being, yoga, reflexology, and of course there's always going to be villains in the picture. Now this is a child's listen along reader. It's got a little audio CD. There's the Barbara Kuntz and Kevin Kuntz. This is the Complete Guide to Reflexology. This one was written by, it's also got a DVD for some, and it just reaches into, now this is your right brain and your right side of the body, and there's 10 zones in the body that can be worked on from the feet, and it's very specific to relaxation starting at your footbed, your grounding spot, which is how you get around. I've made a few costumes, mostly out of my head, but I do have a few patterns. The chakras are the human energy field, and of course this is the form of Reiki that I was attuned to, level 1 and 2. This is an interesting book I got at Bibles for Missions around February. Birthdays are a great time to just kind of kick back and have fun. These are little on-the-go poses just to take a break and stretch a few muscles. You kind of have to understand yoga, and then you can move on. This is kind of another level of just quick-go yoga poses. Here's a pair of socks. To learn the reflexology positions on the footbed. And what else? The survival guide. Ask yourself if the struggle makes sense. Are you really in a position to control the situation, or will you just get emotionally tired trying? Sometimes the most mature, most dignified, and most sensible move is to notably accept what we can change. It's always going to be business as usual, even when you address your addiction or ignore the idea that you might need some help from other people. So as we move on into the next chapter of the Blue Book for Alcoholics Anonymous, which is the basis for the 12-step program. All the 12 steps were developed out of the addiction of alcohol, I think 1935. We talk about how it works, and it's suggested as these steps were suggested as a program of recovery, and some of you know it's called a 12-step program, but really it's an anonymous fellowship that comes together for the purpose of supporting the one who seeks sobriety. ABC, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, that God could and would if he were sought. May you find that peace of mind today. Now, I'm looking ahead at some of the other chapters because of the boundaries and consequences, because when I wandered around like a tourist here, looking lost, but certainly not lost, I found this at the Sunshine Drugs, which is, I found some other ALANON paraphernalia, but there was a NAR-anon, not an ALANON. There is an AA, but it's a closed group for seeking sobriety. You can't really become a member if you're not able to qualify as an alcoholic. So there are 20 questions for the teenagers, and I read them in the last video, but certainly Have you ever considered calling the police because of abusive behavior? Now, that can be intimate partner violence. That can be witness to abuse of a child. That can be on the street corner. And certainly we've become used to looking away even at the prostitutions and human trafficking rings that are getting more and more sinister. Do you ever... now remember, these are the teenage questions. If a teenager is an alcoholic, it isn't the ALANON program. They actually get scooted right on to the AA or other various programs in the community's mental health system. So putting the program into action is not at the teenage level. The boundaries and consequences have been passed. You have to work with other people if you suspect that there's something else that you can do for your teenager in the area of drugs and alcohol. It certainly will start with answering those questions, and they will likely have had boundary issues, consequences become more and more severe as we get older. There's something called the chi energy that you might want to look into. It's given a lot of things, kundalini and yoga. Basically, it's feeding oxygen to all the cells. And then I got this really kind of interesting book to turn off the genes that are killing you and your waistline. This is from Dr. Stephen Grundy and the International Heart and Lung Association out of Palm Springs, the Center for Restorative Medicine.